So it is my pleasure to host you all today, and we will start today's session by an overview, a presentation by Ruta Leitanaite about the NEB Lab project and the architectural competition. Ruta, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Borut, and good morning to everybody. I'm here to present the NEB Lab itself and also the first pilot project, which is Future School for Ukraine. I come from Lithuania, from Vilnius, and I work for the Architects Association of Lithuania as the board member. So in these projects, I am the initiator and the coordinator. What is the NEB Lab Public Infrastructure for Ukraine? It's a platform that has three aims. First aim is to share. So it should work as a hub of professional knowledge and an incubator for case studies. The second aim is to connect. We want to connect Ukrainian professionals, communities with experts and donors worldwide. And the third aim is to inspire. We want to incubate new initiatives, partnerships, and projects that have to deal with the quality rebuilding of Ukrainian public infrastructure. Who we are? So far, we are a small consortium of NEB community members, being Architects Association of Lithuania, Architects Council of Europe, and Roskut Urban Coalition of Ukraine. As friends and supporters, we have Ministry of Economy and Innovation of Lithuania, State Agency for Restoration and Development of Infrastructure of Ukraine, and Central Projects Management Agency of Lithuania. We also have architectural organization as partner, which is Austrian Chamber of Architects, and also your organization could be part of this lab. What we want to achieve, the milestones of this NEB Lab so far are pilot project Future School for Ukraine, and we want to start other projects and initiatives. So join us. You are welcome to join, whether you are representing architectural organization from European Union and Ukraine, university, research institution, governmental sector, local administrations, NGOs, communities, or maybe you are a donor. So please write an email to us and we will make you our friend and collaboration. So now to present the first pilot project, which is the Future School for Ukraine. What is it? This is the initiative of Lithuanian Government being implemented by the Architects Association of Lithuania and Central Project Management Agency in Lithuania. The aim of this initiative is to get a high-quality, adaptive technical design for a new school in Ukraine that meets the interests and needs of Ukrainian society. But apart from that result, what we wanted, and I think that we managed to achieve, is an inclusive, transparent, and democratic process of obtaining the best architectural design for public building in Ukraine. The principle of this initiative is that we don't want to copy-paste the solutions that we're working in European Union because it never works. We want to create new solutions tailored for Ukraine, and this we are trying to achieve through the collaboration of Ukrainian and European Union professionals, visionaries, and society that were there to co-create Future School project that suits Ukrainian realities and expectations the best. What tools we implemented? We had a discussion in the form of a workshop, a co-creation of the vision for a new school in Ukraine, because it's not Lithuanians who have to decide what kind of a new school Ukraine needs. It should be a collaboration of European Union and also Ukrainian architects and experts. And then the second stage was a quality technical design project obtained through an open international architectural competition. So now we dive, what is the vision for a new school in Ukraine? We were working for 3 days together, 20 experts from Ukraine and Lithuania, architects, educational experts, trying to draft what could be the vision and the program for a new school in Ukraine. We were analyzing 3 types of schools that Ukraine needs. So first type is a network of preschools in small towns. The type B is educational centers serving areas of 50-kilometer radius, and the third type was schools in major cities. So consulting with educational specialists in Ukraine, we thought that the most needed type right now is educational centers serving areas of 50-kilometer radius. That includes primary school for local communities, then higher school for communities that are living in 50-kilometer radius around the school. So the children could be bused and they could stay overnight there in the complex. And also a very, very important part of our project is that the school is not longer only a school. It should work also as a community hub. So the premises for community activities were to be designed as well. Now, the three main challenges that we came up with our competition. So first one is, of course, we want the high standards for a new school in Ukraine. That could be also like a pioneering project for the whole European Union. But then we had current Ukrainian standards and regulations that somehow hinder this innovative approach. However, through a collaboration with really dedicated Ukrainian specialists that have knowledge on Ukrainian standards and also very goodwill coming from the ministries, Ministry of Infrastructure, Ministry of Education of Ukraine, we managed to come to a consensus. And also what we hear from the Ukrainian government, that they are very open to innovations, and they say, give us good examples so that we could improve our legislative basis. So we also hope that this project would help to improve the legislative basis. The challenge number two is a typical project. When you say to an architect that you have to design a typical project that would be repeated in Ukraine for hundreds of times, this is the reaction that you get, because we had those projects in Soviet Union and we know how they are not working. So what is the way out from this challenge? And we thought of a new concept, which is an adaptive project. What adaptive project means? Adaptive project is a project of architectural spaces and construction that has its own identity, its own solutions, but it could be adapted according to the local urban context, according to the local natural context, according to the community needs. In the competition, we had asked each of the participants to come up with the solutions for 3 theoretical plots in Ukraine so that we could see how those systems could adapt. And we've got those solutions. As you can see, the architects had really good imagination and some of the projects were really perfectly transformable. The third challenge is mostly related with the European Union legislative basis, which is the public procurement. This competition was to be announced as a public procurement, and we have certain challenges when we want to organize an architectural competition and select the best work according to the architectural and quality criteria. So we also managed that. Last week, we had the awards of Most Efficient Public Procurement Award in Lithuania that is organized by Ministry of Economy and Innovation, and our project was awarded as the winner in the category as Smartest Public Procurement. This is, I have to say, this is the first time an architectural competition is acknowledged by the bureaucrats, so to say. So when the architects will say that it's not possible to have public procurement combined with architectural competition, then I would say, but there was one case awarded. So now diving into the competition, we announced the Open International Architectural Competition with top 3 projects awarded, and the winner received a contract to design the technical design. As for the inclusion of Ukrainians in this stage, we had a requirement that each team in the competition, they had to have at least one architect that had the right to provide architectural service in Ukraine, and at least one architect who had the right to provide architectural service abroad. We had a very special, high qualified jury that consisted of educational specialists from Ukraine, also architects renowned internationally, architects from Sweden, Finland, architects from Lithuania who had an experience in building a school in Bucha, and also architects from Ukraine. Sorry, my mouse is not working, so I'll try. Maybe. Okay. We wanted to attract a lot of attention to this competition, not only to get the participants, but also to get the attention of donors and community, because the Lithuanian government is paying for the technical design and there is still a need for money to build the project. So we were part of the European Bauhaus Festival in spring. We were spreading the news through the channels of Architects Council of Europe, or Davos Alliance or international media, and we were presenting this project also in various political events related with the rebuilding of Ukraine, such as Green Recovery Conference in Ukraine that we had in autumn. And we got the visibility. Even the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, during her speech, opening speech of the NEB Festival, mentioned our project as one of the most NEBish initiatives over there. So we were really proud of that and very happy to receive 15 entries with a very, very vast geography. We received projects from Ukraine, Lithuania, Portugal, Great Britain, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, Japan, Italy, Finland, and France. So today we will get the free presentations of the first prize winners. You will get that in detail, so I will not linger on. Just show you some pictures of how they look. So what's next? The contract is already signed with the winners. We expect to get the technical design in spring 2025. And as you may know, a huge Ukraine recovery conference will happen in Rome in 2025. So we hope for some promises to be made regarding the implementation of this pilot project as well. And just for you to get the idea where we are now. So this is the scheme that my colleague, architect Rokas Kaičiauskas, who was writing the competition brief, drafted for this initiative. So the competition ended, the contract is signed, and we are here where the red line is. There's still a way to go until the implementation. So we just passed the bar to our colleagues at Central Projects Management Agency. Good luck with finding donors. We will do everything to spread the news, not only about the first prize, but also about the second and third prize. And hopefully this project gets implemented until the 2026. So thank you a lot for the time. And now I pass the word back to Borut.
Thank you very much, Ruta, for this very concise and succinct overview of first the idea and then the implementation of the project. The next session we planned together with Ruta to give also the voice to national authorities and the European Commission, who kind of are either directly involved in the implementation of the project or are accompanying it. So I would like to invite first Artūras Žarnovskis, Co-Create Future of Ukraine Program Manager at Central Project Management Agency of Lithuania, to take the floor and kind of reflect on this past experience. Artūras, you were also very much involved into day-to-day activities as well, so we are super interested also to hear how the project turned out from your personal view and the view of Lithuanian government and other institutions.
Hello, thank you. So I am Artūras Žarnovskis, and as it was mentioned, I am from Central Project Management Agency. It is a governmental agency working with development corporations projects. And yeah, my position is Co-Create Future of Ukraine. And for me, it is not only the name of the position, but I think it is with the key words, it's Co-Create and the future of Ukraine. So a lot of was said by Ruta, and she clarified all the idea. But before that, idea was that when we started rebuilding projects in Ukraine, it was reconstructions, schools, kindergartens, bomb shelters. And if it is very needed, those rapid responses, because infrastructure damages are enormous. But in the same time, we understand that, yeah, damages are beyond our understanding. But we started thinking that in some cases, to reconstruct buildings, you are very limited. You can't do some things because you are limited, and in some cases, after a few winters and after some time, we see that when you start reconstruction, so it is those buildings are affected not only by explosions and war damages, but also time. Those buildings were built in 60s and 70s. And after second winter, in some cases, it is impossible to reconstruct, or if it is possible to reconstruct, from construction point of view, but it is not logical. And we started thinking about new constructions and understanding that the scope is beyond understanding. Those damages are huge. How to think in horizontal way, how to think about new principles. We heard a lot in different conferences, build back better, but what does it mean practically? You know, and to start even pay more attention about new constructions, not only rapid responses, which is also needed, but in the long term, to think how it could be somehow horizontal, from horizontal point of view to covered. So that's how we started thinking about those adaptive technical design projects, because of course it will save time, it will save money, and but first thing, it is quality. For small municipalities, they have no chance to attract such a big names like from Netherlands, from Finland, or from Italy. They have no chance to attract such good, world-known, famous architects. And now, with this initiative, they have real opportunity to use those technical designs, yes, with the adaptation process, yes, with the involvement of the local, but still the set of principles, including new European Bauhaus. So that was the logic. And of course, we discussed a lot with the Ukrainian authorities, with Ukrainian experts from different fields, I mean, from architectural, engineering institutions, educational specialists, also with the European and not European colleagues, how to tackle that enormous problem, because we know only from history how to tackle such damages, because it is a new thing. There is no book where to read how to rebuild country. So from our experience from educational sector, I mean schools and kindergartens, it was clear for us that it is time to think about new schools, new infrastructure, and to think about long-term perspective, because those schools will serve, I don't know, for 50 or 100 years in the future. To think about new Bauhaus, new European Bauhaus principles, about sustainable buildings, and even start that discussion. And in the same time, realizing that it will not be cheap. You know, there are expectations sometimes. Yeah, let's build school for 1 million euros. It is impossible. We need to understand how much it will cost, time, money, and efforts. So that's how this idea appeared, and how it was, you know, kick off. And after that, Ruta, I think, explained very well how it was practically solved, and yeah, it was behind every step was a lot of discussions, a lot of, you know, brainstorming how to do it better. And from my perspective, I can say that even if the project would stop now, it still has some benefits, and real benefits, to start thinking about, you know, principles about really build back better. And but I believe that we will build not only one school. Ruta mentioned about finding donors, so I'm sure that Lithuania will be one of the donors for sure. But of course, it is an international thing, and all countries need to step in with the financing, with the ideas, like it is now. So yeah, that's all for me. Some small remarks.
Super, thanks a lot, Artūras. I think it's a really nice introspective, also by combining the background thinking, also how you feel it. So thanks a lot for that, and congratulations for a successful implementation of from the scheme that we saw from Ruta. I would say the first phases of the project, and hopefully there will be many more. The next speaker in line should have been Nadia Kumziachova, Deputy Minister of Education and Science of Ukraine. Unfortunately, she had last minute other priority meetings tasked to attend, so we will not be hosting her today, but I'm sure there will be other opportunities where we will also be able to hear from Ukrainian authorities. So that is left for a very weird thing to do, to pass the floor to me to speak on behalf of European Bauhaus unit, on behalf of the European Commission. And first, I would like to congratulate to everybody involved in the NEB Lab project. So from the organizers to all the entries to the competition, and of course also to the three winning projects as such. We are very happy to see that the NEB Lab is succeeding to fulfill its aim. And the aim of the NEB Lab is to support the European Bauhaus community and beyond as a co-creation space, as a place where projects are being incubated, developed, and implemented. So it's going beyond just talking about the principles, but actually also implementing different European Bauhaus working principles and values, and doing that through working together in a spirit of openness and trust, and focusing on connecting people, on learning from each other, and tapping into everyone's experience. In that regards, if we kind of more concretize it, the NEB Lab projects aim to either create enabling conditions for the green transition. In this context, we are talking about new tools, frameworks, and policy recommendations. But the second big group of impacts from the NEB Lab projects that we are expecting or aiming for are to trigger tangible transformations on the ground. In that context, the project Public Infrastructure for Ukraine embodies all of this, and I think it also goes beyond. It kind of shows not just how to bring the community together, but it really also illustrates how to innovate, how to solve challenges that for which we don't have any blueprints around. And with that, that's at the core of first the European Bauhaus initiative to kind of innovate in different approaches in how we improve our living spaces and our environment that we live in, but also through bringing different community members from different countries, from different professions, to realize all of the aspirations that the European Bauhaus projects through the values and its principles. The NEB Lab is open to all of the community, and the projects are evolving further. So we are also very happy to hear about the plans for next stages in the projects, for the project to keep being open. And on our side, we will continue doing everything in our power to support the implementation of the project with well, kind of limited resources that are available, because it also needs to be undermined. And I think that's why the impact is so much bigger, that while the NEB Lab is a structure of the European Commission, it doesn't offer any funding resources for the project. So in this case, Ruta, Artūras, and their colleagues and teams have really invested not only the ideas and challenges, but also real resources from the Lithuanian government that enable this project to be realized and to continue happening. So a big chapeau. So hats off from the European Bauhaus unit and the team at the European Commission. Congratulations to everybody involved, and we are looking forward to seeing the buildings in reality, and also hearing at the end about also the next steps and other plans for the project. Thanks a lot. And now we come to the part which I think most of the people joined for. These are the presentations of the projects, of the winning projects. So we'll start with the first award, the project that won the first award, and I invite Matteo George, Development Director at Scandurra Studios, to take the floor and present the best project according to the competition. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you very much. I just will share the screen, just a second. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's not in presentation mode, so it's in the PDF program. Okay, now it's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So, nice to meet you. I'm Poé George, Director of Business Development at Scandurra Studio. And I would first of all like to thank everybody, to thank the new European Bauhaus, CTDA, Lithuanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ukrainian Ministry of Education, of course, Union of Lithuanian Architects and Ukrainian Agency for Restoration to having made all of this possible. And I also would like to thank everybody for being here and listening to this great event. We operate and we live in a layered and multidimensional reality. And we think that architecture is committed to create a fair and sustainable future. And we have an approach both historical and innovative, where project somehow emerges as sensitive interventions that are reviving both spaces and experiences. And we somehow reinvent and reinterpret the past traces, and we bring them to the future, towards the future. And when it comes to education, this complexity actually stays on the learning itself. So the knowledge actually is both practical and theoretical. The theoretical part is predictable somehow, and it's accessible for everybody at the same level, while the practical aspect of the knowledge, it's more about personal experiences and personal sensibility. We believe that physical space actually is a successful tool in shaping this educational environment because it helps to create a sense of community, is connecting people, and the students can have an exchange, can doubt about themselves, can speak between them, and this way they grow and they learn. If we go back to the history, actually, we have several examples of these community-based spaces, and all of them actually are related with the nature. And one good example of that is the concept of hortus conclusus, and they were protected gardens, where this contemplation aspect was somehow protected from the nature, but was related with the nature. And this is the idea we wanted to bring in our project. So coming more specifically to the project, actually, the first aim of the project is to create a sense of community, trying to combine the learning spaces with other functions useful for the local community. We try to follow the concept of a full day school, actually, trying to foster extracurricular activities. Central to this project are the courtyards, because the courtyards actually are fostering the social interaction between the students, the educators, and the local community. And they help to bring natural light in the learning spaces, natural air. And this is helping increasing the well-being of the educational environment, but it also helps the learning itself because people are more focused and there is more active education. The system, it's a flexible prefabricated load-bearing wall system, actually, which can be arranged in different ways. And every unit is energetically autonomous, and this helps with low carbon approaches to reduce the footprint of the building itself. So we have to resume three main concepts in the building, in the project: flexibility, sense of community, and sustainability. This is a bird view of the project, and now I will go a little bit deeper in the description of how the system was thought. When we started to think about the project, the first thing was the analysis, and one of the main ideas or question of the competition was to build schools all over Ukraine. So the first thing to understand was which was the best transportation mean to build the school, actually. And we found out that the best way was to use common lorries. So we thought about the basic element of the project, the prefabricated wall, to be a module of a common lorry in order to optimize the space that could be used in a common lorry. Then these walls are assembled in single units, the classrooms, and these classrooms are arranged around the void, forming this way a courtyard. And this way we have a system. And then the system is spread all over the plot, following a grid of rules, both programmatical rules and humanistic rules, because we want to create these relation spaces that are very important for our project. So this is the result in the land plot. And as it was mentioned, we were asked to test our project in other sites. And these are the two other sites that we were asked to develop. When we started to design the building, actually we started to design the void because we don't see the void as a mere interstice between buildings, but actually is something that can bring value to the project. The value, the void, sorry, is the key element that helps to create an environment that is promoting learning, well-being, and social interaction. And in this way, the courtyards, the courtyards and the gardens, the recreational areas actually are true special aggregators that are making possible students to stay together. They are places of experience. They are places of nature. They are places of wonder and places of learning. The transparent layout of the building towards these courtyards actually is helping natural light to come in and natural air. And this is helping in creating mental and physical health, improving attention, focus, and cognitive ability. And also it helps to synchronize the body internal clock. This is why when we thought about the artificial light, we used a DALI system, which is self-regulating depending on the brightness of the natural light in one hand, but on the other hand, it's changing its temperature depending on the rise and fall of the daylight in order to keep our body synchronized with the circadian rhythms. Another aspect of the project are the scrubs. Actually, we use the scrubs to fill the landscape, but mainly we use the scrubs to create an iconical facade. We put the scrubs in gabions, and this is protecting actually with a wall, perimeter wall, to protect the school from the exterior, but creating an iconic facade. And the vegetation can grow on the scrubs. So somehow we have at the same time the memory of the scrubs, but also the hope of the vegetation growing on the scrubs for the future. Okay, we also had a program, and I will go quick through it because we have quite common school functions. But what is interesting for us is to show how all these functions are actually facing the courtyards, and this way they are relating one to each other, creating this relation between people and all the users that are in the schools, actually. And the result is a very porous plan where people can move and meet freely. The same was for the fluxes. We differentiated the fluxes in the entrance, but then once you are inside, fluxes and people can actually meet and interact. A little bit deeper in the structure, the walls are made of 2 layers, one structural layer and one for insulation. In the insulation one, we had the system integrated, and the same is happening for the roof and the floor. We have radiant panels on the floor, PV panels on the roof, green roof. Everything is dry assembled except for the foundations and the shelter, because there is a shelter, of course. And then all around we have this iconic facade. When we speak about sustainability, we need to understand that sustainability is not only environmental sustainability, but also sustainability for people. And from the environmental point of view, we wanted to reach zero carbon school. So we follow the rules of the NSH and NZIP criteria to find then the correct strategies to reduce our footprint. Everything starts from analysis. So we analyze the needs of energy, temperature, daylight exposure, noise, winds, all kinds of analysis that were helping us to find the correct solutions and the best, the most efficient solutions to reduce our footprint. The result is a complex system of solutions like PV panels, dimmable lights, CO2 sensors, collecting water, permeable surfaces, high albedo pavements. All these solutions are helping in reducing the footprint of the building on one side. On the other side, I said that it's important that the building is sustainable for people too. And so we have a lot of solutions that are helping increasing the internal comfort for people. So mechanical ventilation, the DALI system that is adapting the lightness inside, the radiant panels, and the vegetation outside, which is helping in using the outdoor spaces too, because we wanted people to use the outdoor spaces for most of the time. So but during the summer, the vegetation is creating a canopy and refreshing these outdoor areas. So this concept of full day school and other extracurricular activities is also fostered by this kind of solution. So these are some images, the bird view, the facade, some internal spaces, classroom, theaters, sports. And I would like to finish the presentation with a hope. We designed a modular system, actually, it's flexible. And we know that the needs of people, of society, of education, of Ukraine will change. And we hope that this project, being adaptable, will adapt to the changing needs of the society and of all the stakeholders involved, both in Ukraine and why not also abroad. So, as a catalyst for positive change, Neighborhood for Educational Wonder offers a beacon of hope for future generations striving to create thriving, resilient communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Super inspiring. Well, Ruta, I invite you to join the conversation. You have some questions for Poé and his team, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Borut and Poé Matteo George. Very happy to meet you again. We have had some conversations before, but I will start with this one. As I explained in my presentation, we as the competition organizers and the authors of the competition brief, we came to different challenges which were very, very specific for this competition. But you, as the participant, what were the biggest challenges for you to solve with this project?
Well, there were a few, I guess. I think the biggest challenge was to find out a project that at the same time could be adaptable, because this project has to be built in different locations, but without losing its identity and without affecting the identity of places. Because for us, the most important thing is that places are recognizable for people, and people can identify themselves with the places. Otherwise, somehow you lose your connection with the place you are living. And our fear was that creating a project that would be the same in all the locations would have affected the sense of community, the sense of identity of people. And this is why actually we try to work from the context and to have our project adapting to the context. This is why we wanted an open layout. We wanted the layout to create a relation between people, to meet there. We are doing the best. I mean, the project now in the competition phase was in one floor. Now we are facing problems during the development design because of a local regulation, and we are trying to do the best to stay in one floor and not low and not grow up, because this is not helping in melting with the urban landscape. And so this, I think, was the main difficulty to keep the identity of places.
Okay, thank you, Poé Matteo. Borut, do you think that we can continue with questions, or should we move to other conversations, presentations, and then during the general questions sessions we could continue? What would you prefer?
Yeah, I think yeah, let's go to the other two presentations, and then we hit the questions again after them.
Okay.
So thanks, Ruta, for this intervention. Thank you for the presentation, and we go immediately to representatives of NOVA, new office of Vital Architecture, who work together with Orange Architects from the Netherlands, and they received the second award for the project. So I invite Nikita Bielokopytov, partner at NOVA, to take the floor and present the project. Please, Nikita, the floor is yours.
Good day, everyone. I will just share my screen in a second. Today, I'm not the only one from our team who is present. Also, Yelena is here, but she will join. Yeah, she will join when we will speak of the questions. So yeah, this is the overview of our project. The bird view. We participated together with our partners from the Netherlands. We are a young Ukrainian office, young Ukrainian architectural office who is actually appeared after the full-scale invasion, and we participated with our great partners from the Netherlands, from the Rotterdam Orange Architects. The main idea of our project can be described as a one single word, not word, but the sentence is that the school should teach the children in every element. So each element of the school should be learning experience that will affect the children's future, from any boring one to any active one. So everything should be somehow teaching you. And when you come further to the concept of the architectural, how you can invest this and how you can use this, you have like three main elements. You have the function, which you can find in the technical brief of the competition, like which functions should be there, how many children should be there, who should study there, in like which grades, how many classes, and etc. Then, if you combine this with the philosophy of world we value, which is used by our partners from the Netherlands, and I think maybe developed also by them. I think Elena will talk about it after the presentation more. You can somehow imagine this kind of the panneau, like different elements can combine in different patterns and become different images or different composition each time, depending on the situation around it. We focused mainly on the like three key points for which we think is important for the schools. It's like composition and balance between indoor and outdoor spaces, composition and like again balance between publicity. Some spaces are more public, some spaces are completely closed, and a mix of functions. Because we eager to mix everything, and we wanted to combine as much as we can, even if we're talking about the safetiness, and if we talk about the shelter, it should not be only a shelter, only a bunker. It should be part of the school and one of the main ones. And if you combine all of this, and like we all know the task for the competition, it should be local adaptable. So we used the three hypothetical plots for trying to fit our intentions, to work out the systems, how it can be worked and used in different scenarios. And we come up with such library, you can say, or the structures that you can use or should be used in a project, each project, but they can differ in a form. So they can evolve, but this is the basic idea or the core structure of the project. So you have on the left, you have the buildings. On the main, you have the courtyards. It's more semi-public spaces, which also have the function. And on the right, you have like completely natural feeling and completely natural structures. Also, we try to establish for ourselves some kind of the rules or the patterns which we think should be in a school, and that's how each time when you change or implement a new school in a new place, in a new area, in a new neighborhood, you can control yourself. So it's like the rules that each school should be should have these qualities. And again, depending on the task and depending on the location, it may differ a little bit, but not the principal one. Again, we worked a lot of the, in terms of adaptation, we worked a lot of the architecture and in terms of the visual style of the buildings. And for us, it was one of the main aspects, because we didn't want, because like we from Ukraine, we didn't want to have, like it was in Soviet time, all the same in all the country. So we tried to engage and implement the Ukrainian traditions into the design facades. And we imagined that each from the three lots was in different location. For example, one was on the north of the Ukraine, where there's a lot of forest. That's why there is wood material. Other one was on the more on the east part. There is more rivers, then it's a lot of bricks, and again a lot of destruction. So it can be like reusable bricks from the previously destroyed buildings. And the third one, we imagine that it's on the south, and it has its historical value of the different plaster texture, colors, and like details. And that's how we sure that like working with all of those principles in the project, you can achieve not ideal differentiation for each project, but it can be really adaptable and it can differ. And again, what we we can talk about the project a lot, but it have a lot of things into it. For example, we also thought about the idea of the participation, that when the school will be built, you can go directly to the future director of the school, for the future children, for the future community, and together with them participate the idea of the establishing the schools. So it may different a lot because, or it may different a little bit, but the outcome will change. For example, what kind of the facade do you want? What kind of the spaces do you imagine you need? Like the orientation of the school, like do you prefer more open spaces or more closed one? So everything we try to establish in such way that you can make each school really different, but again, it's still the one school at the end, like, and the project not unique in each way, but it can be adoptable. We thought about the sustainability. We also include a lot of the ideas about the sustainability, about the value, about the comfort, about the health, about the social. And this is what we get. We get the schools that we think may be fitable for different Ukrainian communities, different Ukrainian cities, different Ukrainian regions, and different Ukrainian contexts. Yeah, one thing that I also want to mention at the end, that this is the entrance to the dual-use shelter. So actually, this is not the entrance. This is a part of the school. This is just another way of the communicating through the school, going through the another, maybe not corridor, but going through the other classes, which is located in the shelter, and you just naturally passing them by. So it's other level of the school, which is more on a underground level, a little bit protected, more protected than other, but still is accessible, it's open, it's what Ukrainians need right now. Because I think in the future, it will be a question how to use shelter more common for Ukrainian schools. Yeah, thank you. We had only 5 minutes for present, so that's it. Again, we both, Noah and Orange, work together on this project. And if you have any question, if you have any comments, if you know any partners who are eager to implement the school, please contact us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nikita. And I invite Santeri Lipasti, co-founder of Huttunen-Lipasti Architects, and Elvira Lehostaieva, the project architect, to take the floor and present the third prize, the project that got awarded the third prize at the competition. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you see the presentation now? Is it visible?
No, not yet.
Yes. Well,
sorry. Okay, now we have. Perfect.
Well,
thanks.
Good. Just shortly, yes, I'm Santeri Lipasti, and Elvira Lehostaieva is a project architect. Here I will first quickly tell a little bit of our concept, and then Elvira will continue a little bit about the school project or school design itself. It will be quite fast with the 5 minutes. Well, in Finland we have a long history of developing schools, and we have catch up a lot of what works and what doesn't, and there's this knowledge in our presentation and our design, but in a sense we started with sort of an open mind of thinking, okay, we know that the Finnish schools don't work as such, but with this situation of the war and the kind of the vast and urgent need for new schools and just the exceptional situation, we think that this is not anywhere near as a normal development or normal building project, and it's really impossible to predict the changing needs in the long term. also, and all we can know for sure is that there will be changing needs, and there will be a lot of those in the future, as it is in the moment. If there is like a big need for a big school in some area, at the moment the situation will be probably a little bit different in 10 or 20 years, and we have to think about that too. How can we respond to that, to the changing needs? Our solution is this flexibility in core. I think that's the only way to be sustainable in this kind of a situation. So we developed our concept to ensure the flexibility in all different levels. It's flexible inside the building in everyday use, and program-wise, it's flexible to reorganize things in different ways. But it's also flexible in terms of size and location. So it's a building system based on prefabricated and modular elements, and which can also be dismantled and rebuilt in new location if and when necessary. And with this system, it's possible to build like large amounts of new schools or expand old ones in fast and effective way. Like when the child population reduces in some area or grows in another area, parts of the building volume can be moved to a new location and adapted there. Architecturally, the schools consist of these separate blocks or clusters that can be grouped in a flexible way and on different sites, and include like different programs according to the need. All the blocks are technically independent, so they can be added or removed and used easily. And the blocks are connected with this lobby spaces that are they function as internal streets and these multi-purpose spaces as part of the everyday school spaces. And then while the load-bearing elements are prefabricated, the secondary construction parts can be built on site from local recycled or new materials with local labor, and the shape of the roofs and the facades and materials can be chosen to fit the location, so it's very adaptable to the environment itself, that it doesn't always look the same at all. It just has the same sizes of these elements in it, and the logic.
Yeah, and in the usage of the building rubble, we would like to avoid the presence of a clear war image, as we want to look forward and hope that the war for Ukraine will soon be only history. So we suggest using building rubble, transforming its appearance and shapes significantly. So it could be new composite panels, or panels from the metal scrap or wooden scrap, and then glazing that could be very individual. And as well, we vastly use recycled materials in the site design as pavements and as landscape elements. But it will be every time individual as the recycled amount of and type of materials is unpredictable. So that's why we show different examples of how can it be used, and then it can be developed based on the context. So in the internal organization of the school, we emphasize clarity and the gradual transition from open social functions to a more undistributed, undisturbed learning environment. This has been achieved by placing social shared facilities such as the library, art studios, workshop, and an event hall, sports halls, and canteen on the ground floor, while classrooms are primarily located upstairs. We believe it's very important for the 24/7 school to have this merge, but also clear distinction between the functions. Then the dual-use shelter repeats the footprint of the main sports hall and workshop cluster, allowing activities to continue seamlessly. And the lobby serves as an internal street, featuring a series of public spaces that connect the functional clusters and atrium-like courtyards, creating synergy between them. The classrooms can be closed off to allow formal education, or then they can be opened up to the lobby and joined between them to allow informal education, and in this way, a flexible learning environment that adapts to the evolving concept of education. Since we know that Ukraine is also open and works on reform of education, we believe it's very important to also suggest architecture that can be flexible for the different concepts of learning. The lobby acts as a truly public space where multiple scenarios and spontaneous interaction occur. Navigation within the school is intuitive due to visual connections and a visual coding of the clusters. The interior showcases a variety of creatively used recycled materials. And now, finally, the dual-use shelter. As we know, it's an important subject. It's been designed in accordance with the latest Ukrainian legislation, which requires 100% of capacity during air raids. However, we wanted to ensure that the shelter spaces are not merely functional, but also comfortable and integral to the daily learning process. And this is why sport, performance, and workshop activities are those that do not necessarily require natural light, but benefit from improved acoustic continue in the shelter. So we suggest placing, for instance, dance and fitness halls, as well as the green screen studios that are easily adaptable with alternative layouts for almost uninterrupted learning during air raids. And with this, we hope the future School of Ukraine will be an inspiring place for both pupils and local community. And here, learning takes multiple forms. Thank you for your attention. And this is it. So feel free to ask questions.
Thank you a lot. Big congratulations to all three winning projects. We are opening the space for questions. If you have one, please either raise your hand, put it in the chat. But I give the first chance to ask the questions to Ruta to kind of kickstart and break the ice.
Okay, thank you, Borut. I see that there are hands already rising, so I will come up with one question to the second and third prize winners. First of all, I'm very, very happy to see your faces because this is the first time when I see you, at least online. So thank you for participation in the competition and congratulations. And now my question. During their presentation, the Scandurra representative, the first prize winners, they were explaining the concept of their architectural identity that they present. That was the aim to merge with the landscape and also to celebrate the memory in form of the wall that is surrounding the school. What concept of visual identity your project have? What is the message that you want to convey to Ukrainian society, and what architectural measures you take to convey that message? So probably first we should ask Nikita and Elena this question, and then Santeri to answer.
Yes, hi everyone again. I think Elena will continue. I think for us, as for Ukrainian part of the team, one of the key aspects and the key challenge was just to try to imagine how modern Ukrainian architecture could look like. What I mean, it's not like what we afraid in Ukraine in terms of the future rebuilding process conducted by European nations and all over the world, countries all over the world, that some architects may came by as a foreigners and will not spend a lot of time to invest in the Ukrainian architectural heritage, cultural aspects, and everything else. And then they will just propose other buildings as similar to the European nations, to the America, to the all over the world. Like I don't want to put any pins, but it's not a bad thing. But this is what we tried, and this is what was crucial for us to imagine how Ukrainian modern architecture could evolve and how it can be both reliable to the new Western approach, but regardless to the Ukrainian history and culture. Words to you then.
Yeah, I think Nikita exactly said it all. And I think the challenge was to design a school that is for Ukraine, and we really tried as a partners from the Netherlands. I'm actually from Lithuania, so it's in between. But how do you know that the school is not somewhere in the Netherlands, in Belgium, but it's in Ukraine? And how you let yourself to create this new image that is connected to the traditions, that people can be proud of the culture of Ukraine and to give it a space, but in a new one. So that was very important for the identity of the history.
Okay, Santeri,
Yes.
you want to answer?
Yes, for sure. Thank you. Thank you for the question. We saw that the building itself, as we proposed as a sort of building system as a is that it's open for the local input into it. It should not look at the same in different environments. We want to make it communal so that it's open up to the surroundings, that it's not looking into itself. It has like good courtyards and the functions of all the daily out sports and so on, but because it works all the around the clock in best ways, then it should be very open and very reachable from the outside. And to sort of scale it down, even though it is in like two floors, and it can be done in 3 or 4 floors in dense cities, but it can also sort of scale down it into a human scale and into the surrounding environment, and kind of not going into the Soviet scale at all, and in a way diverse, depending on what is the local like culture and what are the available materials, what is the need that they have. I see that it's a big workshop in every place to make it theirs, but this is a concept of how to organize it and how to make it in like vast amounts and with the same system that then is possible to detach and move it into some other place that it's more needed, the sort of the volume, because the need will change a lot, that we can see, and we have to sort of respond to that.
Yeah, and I could just add that architecturally we faced a large, vast program, but it's very important to keep school as a human scale as possible. So by creating our blocks, we aimed to create like city blocks in miniature, so that it would be easy to orient for the people. So every cluster that we created could be quite different in appearance, so that you can also orient by the visual coding in the surrounding. Yeah.
Thank you. Borut, should I continue with questions? Because I have some, but maybe we should give the floor to the audience.
Well, yeah, we have Nikita wanting to ask something, so let's mix a bit. So I pass the floor to Nikita and come back to you, Ruta, a bit later.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. I just, as a Ukrainian part of the team who was also working, like, honestly, it was one of the first, or the first big project for us, developing together with the European architects, working like online, working like in different timeline. Can you please elaborate a little bit more from your experience, how it was for you to work with the Ukrainian part of the team? How much involvement was from the Ukrainian side? Maybe what you learned from the Ukrainians, or maybe like I don't know, some interesting insight. Just curious. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Who would like to come in first? Maybe Po or Santeri, or even Ruta, if you want to come in, please.
I think anyway everybody will say something. Thank you for the question. I think this was one of the very interesting aspects of the competition, I guess, to somehow force people to collaborate. Anytime you work abroad, we always work with a local partner, because we think that it's impossible to think about a project without having a relation with the country or even the city. In Italy, we are the country of municipalities, and every city is completely different from another. Still, we are facing this problem, even in regulations. And so I think that confrontation with the local partners is something very important. And I think to put this on the competition was a very nice idea. We met our partner actually in a conference here in Milan. It was organized in Triennale, which was the first actually step of several steps that will be take place about the reconstruction of Ukrainian. Before they were mentioning about the conference in Rome, and this was the first part actually. And we were invited there with other Ukrainian architects to speak about our vision about Ukrainian reconstruction. And there I met our partner, Vladimir Goldakovsky, actually, and he's the owner of GRA Architects. And we had the chance to talk a little bit in that occasion. And when the competition came up, he was the first person I called, and we had a very good relation in working, actually, because every day we were speaking one to each other, and the feedbacks from both sides were actually working good, I guess. And I think that now still that the working is going on, we could never do that without the local partners. Their help is precious.
Thank you. Maybe some other perspectives as well, please.
Yes, I agree on those, and our in our case we had also Elvira, that is Ukrainian architect on our staff already, so we had a good angle on that. The collaboration was, well, we've been collaborating also on vice versa situations, and we know that it's crucial to have a good local partner, and there is just we know that there is so much that we don't know when we are going into another country, and in that sense we were also thinking about this as a system, that we should not give answers that we don't have enough information, even because it's inside Ukraine. It's the same thing in different areas, that you might need really a different partner if you go to a different city. It's the same even in Finland, in Helsinki, and so on. So, but it was very fast in this competition, the collaboration, and worked well. But it's super important, and in the hopeful future, if we are able to get the project forward, it's vital to have a good partner in present.
Yeah, I think it was very helpful for us to see this competition from different perspective. Also, my background as a Ukrainian architect, and then to have possibility to study both in Ukraine and then in Finland, to compare and find maybe best. And of course, Ukrainian partner and consultant from Replas from Lviv helped us a lot with to cope with legislations, but it's been always a question how, at which extent we need to follow current Ukrainian legislations for schools, since it has already a bit of post-Soviet background. So we know that some regulations are going to be changed. So it was always a question between the teams. Do we need to suggest something totally new or to follow just legislation? So I think we hopefully did a good balance in it, because we know that legislations would be also be updated at some point in the future. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Thanks a lot. Ruta, going back to you for basically the final question. We have 8 minutes left, and please, you round up the Q&A, and then we'll also close the session with you afterwards.
Well, in fact, my question is about the start. I'm very curious to learn from the winners of the first 3 prizes. How did you learn about the competition?
Maybe we started with Nikita, then we go to Po, and then to Elvira and Santeri.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Actually, I don't know how it started in Europe, but in Ukrainian, I think almost all of the architects or architectural world in Ukraine was knowing about this competition. Honestly, we were contacted by several European architects. When we was discussing with the European partners, we also found out that some of people who we contacted already was contacted by other Ukrainian teams. So for us, this was like sprint, you know, when it was date launch, when it was publicly released the information about the competition, the website was accessible. The journey started immediately.
Thanks a lot. Poé Matteo, please.
Yes, actually, for several reasons, I think we have a business department with a competition department, which is always checking the new competition happening. And also we recently started to develop our work in Lithuania. We have a brand ambassador there. We have a local partner in Lithuania. So when this when the competition came out, for us, it was almost natural to participate because we were putting together the Ukrainian contacts we had, the Lithuanian contacts we had, and also we searched a lot for school competition because we are interested in next generations, and we think that the school is one of the best ways somehow to influence the future generations as architects, and so this is why.
Perfect, thanks. Elvira and Santeri, how about you guys?
Well, actually, we found out that from architectural internet resources, and we found out about the competition already when it was like just under maybe 1.5 months left. So it was a really big sprint for us, but it came together with our wishes to make an input in development of Ukrainian architecture, and also as we developed a school in Finland, and we are also very interested in this sector. We see a lot of potential in it. So that's how it started for us, and of course, it could be maybe better to have even longer time, and the competition had quite a vast scope, so we kind of doubted, but it was still very good for us, and hopefully for the competition, so we could learn, and as well as the initiative probably hopefully can get input also from us. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for also offering us a bit of an unusual perspective into the let's say background of the architectural competitions, or how to get ready for them. Yeah, we are running out of time, so if you have any other questions for any of the teams behind the awarded projects, we can help you connect with them, or you reach out directly to them via contacts available online. But before we finish, Ruta, you already indicated in the first in your presentation that new partners can join the project. So what's still on the table, or what are the ideas on how to proceed with public infrastructure for Ukraine NEB Lab?
Thank you, Borut, for this. So a little bit of the announcement, what's next for the NEB Lab. Of course, for the Future School for Ukraine initiative, this is not the end. So we will keep the community updated on how is it going with the project that we developed together with the first prize winners. But also we would be very happy to update if the second and third prize projects get some further kickoff. Besides that, Lithuanian priorities when it comes to the rebuild of Ukraine are topics of education and rehabilitation, and we already are drafting some ideas for new projects with these topics. So if the ones who are listening, if you are related, or if you are interested in the topics of education and rehabilitation infrastructure, and you want to deal with these topics in Ukrainian context, you are very welcome to join. And then the other part of public events would be focused a little bit more on heritage, because I have another project, or we are kind of a big consortium, 11 architectural organizations. We have a project, Euroherit, Architects for Heritage in Ukraine, and we are exploring various topics inside the project. So we thought that it would be really nice to explore the topics of community engagement when it comes to the restoration of cultural heritage, on housing and affordable housing policies for Ukraine when it comes to the renovation of the Soviet mass housing. And also we have 12 very nice pilot projects of rehabilitation of cultural heritage for Ukraine inside the Euroherit. So probably we will make 3 different sessions presenting the findings, presenting the results, and also expanding the field and contacts of the experts who could join us in this journey of exploring these topics. So this is, I think, for the next year, but we are also open to any other initiatives. If you want just to start any project, the NEB Lab, I think, is the perfect platform for searching partners or just for spreading the word. So open to your suggestions. Please contact us. And thank you, Borut.
Thank you, Ruta. Exciting plans, a lot of opportunities to connect, to collaborate, to upgrade the existing collaborations. So I have a feeling we'll soon have a similar session in 2025, either announcing some concrete partnerships, or then following up on existing activities to present what has been done, achieved, and how can this also be used in other contexts as well. So perfect timing. Clock just turned 12:30 CET. Thanks a lot for taking the time, being with us. Thanks a lot to all the presenters for sharing your expertise and inputs with everyone, and being available for the questions and exchanges. Take care, stay safe, have a good December. Have a good December, and see you around the European Bauhaus community or beyond also in 2025. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye.